thanks for stopping by. I'm working on some soup mugs, and I'll be selling these at a Relay for Life, which is a American Cancer Society thing, boutique, in November. But I thought I'd go ahead and get started. I know it's like in the middle of, oh, actually it's beginning of June, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and this way I don't feel like I'm rushed because I always wait till the last minute in some of this stuff. Alright, so I actually found these up in 99-cent store, and these are soup mugs. This one's got a little bit of paint on it. But I'll tell you what I do is I take a Clorox wipe, and I wipe it down first, just to make sure that all the residue and any kind of dust or anything like that is wiped off of it. And then I set that aside and let it dry. Now there's a bunch of different tools you can use when you're working with vinyl. You can use your, the blade thing. I can't remember the name. I will in a minute. Or you have this that you can pick off with. This is a silhouette tool. This is actually a punch for tabs. You can use that one. Anything that's got, something pokey at the end of it, including your tweezers. So don't worry about like, oh, I don't have the right tool. If you have tweezers, you're good to go. Some other things you need to have for the braying process, that is to really push it down on your item that you're using the vinyl with. You need like a flat edge, so you can have your bone folder or your spatula or your scraper or anything like that. Now for this particular one, this is a country fair image, and it's got more layers to it, but I'm kind of altering it so that it is appropriate for this coffee mug. I did make one that was too big, so it was making it very difficult for the image to lay down flat, because with vinyl it does buckle up or fold up if you don't have a flat surface, which makes sense. Alright, so I've got everything cut out, and I've also got my transfer tape going here. So let's dig in. I tend to use my tweezers more. Not really any reason why, except that I just find it easier for me to use. Some people, actually use like the picking tool or the weeding tool, and I've done that too. It just depends on the image and what you need to do here. I like the tweezers because I can pick with it and also pick up the extra vinyl as well. I'm just kind of placing the little pieces over here to the side. You probably can't see the little cuts here on this image because the camera's just not going to pick that up. But there's like little tiny, teeny tiny things here. This is the bottom layer, and I wanted to have it black so that it would pop up more on the white soup mug. I do have one more right here. Alright, then I'm going to take my transfer tape. This is actually a Cricut name brand. There are other transfer tapes out there if you can find them on sale. You don't really have to use a lot. Okay, again, I used my tweezer, and I peel off the sticky part. This is my extra. I'm going to bring it right on top, just like so, and I'm just going to use my scraper. This is the large scraper that you can get on Cricut.com. If you have never seen this before. I actually bought two of them just in case I lost one, because they're so awesome when you're scraping things off your mat. So I'm just spraying it really, really hard. I don't know if spraying is the right term, but that's what I'm thinking. That's the word that's popping in my head right now. So we're just going to peel this off slowly. Working with vinyl takes patience. Set this aside, and then we're going to put it right here. I'm just going to kind of judge, where I want this to go. I have made two of these already, so I kind of have an idea. And you're going to use your grit lines to make sure that you've got that on there straight. Now for this particular one, I'm bringing it almost all the way to the top, because I want this to lay down flat. If I made too big of an image, then I have this curved part, and it just wouldn't, it's just, like I said, I tried it, and it was just buckling up and had a lot of yucky parts to it. So alright, now I'm just going to use my thumb for this, because I'm just trying to get out all the creases or any bubbles. I find using my finger works best for that. If you find one, you can just lift it up and push it back down again. Alright, so I'm going to use my scraper again. I have acrylic nails. Those come in handy for vinyl. I may be using those here in a minute, so you'll see what I'm talking about. Alright, so I'm just going to pick this side. And I'm just going to slowly start peeling this off. Now, as you can see, it's not sticking very well. So I'm going to use my finger and just help it along. You could use your scraper again, or whatever tool it is that you're using. But I'm finding that my fingernails and my finger are really working well with this, because I just peel it off and I just make sure that it's pushed down really well, that there's no creases, no bubbles. And guess what? It's not the end of the world if there is. It's just probably not how you want it to turn out. Now, as you can see, my S is stuck there, so I'm just being very careful at this point. I don't want it to tear. I do participate in the Relay for Life boutique fundraiser every year for the last 2 years. I guess you consider me a cancer survivor. I had malignant melanoma 5 years ago, so it was pretty scary, but I'm okay. Alright, so next thing I want to do is I want to put the silver on. This is so pretty. This is a Cricut glitter vinyl. I use this a lot for Christmas stuff. And it is like near to impossible to see the places that you need to pull apart here, because it's so shiny you just can't really see it. So I'm going to do my best, and then you can see here in a minute. You can also pick it off once you get it down on the cup or whatever image it is that you're putting the vinyl on. Now, vinyl projects do take a while. So during this process, I will not be offended, and nor will I know that you're going to fast forward through this. I just thought maybe some brief explanation about what I'm doing would help if you're new at this. And so I'm just going to go ahead and keep yapping away. Sometimes I even use like my fingernail when it comes to pulling this off. Another thing you can do is you can look at the image on your Cricut Design Space screen and see where exactly that's supposed to peel off. There is an empty space here. There we go. I got it. I don't want to rip anything. That would not be good, but I guess I could cut it out again. Be kind of a waste, but I could cut it out again. All right, so let's put this on. Get my transfer tape. There we go. Push that on there. Now it's getting a little tricky at this point because the cuts are becoming a little bit more intricate. I have done really intricate pieces before, and it was a coffee cup for my sister. Oh my gosh, it was so pretty. You have to be super careful with that when you're peeling off the transfer tape that you don't rip it. Okay, this didn't come off at all. So I'm finding with the glitter vinyl, it loves its little home base here. So peeling it off, the paper actually comes with it. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that. Let me know if you have, and if you have a remedy for that. There we go. So I'm kind of helping it, if you notice what I did there. I'm just going to give you an example. See, it actually tears off with the paper. It could be that I used the wrong setting. I just put vinyl down. I just put the setting on vinyl. I probably should have gone in and done a custom and said glitter vinyl, because what it's doing is it's actually cutting the paper. You don't want that. You want it to just cut the vinyl. And you can see by my mistake here that that's what I did. It's coming off because it thinks it's supposed to. There we go. Once you get your piece going, it'll work then. I'm kind of helping it along there with my tweezer. I'm kind of cheating, right? Hey, whatever works. There we go. Nice and slow. Great. Okay, I just had to take a look to make sure that it's not torn or bent or anything. A little bit of a crease right there, and we're saying bye-bye to that. Okay, so let's go ahead and line this up. Try to make sure that it's straight. Okay, so I'm going to start from the left. I'm going to use my thumb instead of just like laying it on there and hoping that it's, you know, not creased or anything. I'm going to use my thumb and just gradually move it out. Nice. All right, let's go ahead and push down on this a little better than the other one. So we want it to stick to the black vinyl. Now I'm going to choose to start taking it from this big edge here instead of this intricate edge. And I know that because I tried it on the other ones and I kept tearing the S as I was peeling off the transfer tape. Okay, so use your thumb, get the creases out, push it down, make sure that it's sticking on that second layer. Okay, that turned out good. Now I can see here that I have a little piece that didn't quite come off for the P, so that's what's so cool about this. Look, I can just lift it right up, even though I've already put the transfer tape on it. I'm going to use the scissors. I can see that it was not a clean cut. Let me just show you here how it is. This does have a part of an image that goes here for the little dinner bell. So I don't want to interfere with that. Now we have one more layer. This is the blue layer. Blue is one of the colors that was recommended for this cut, and I liked it, especially against the pretty glitter vinyl. So I started it, and I'm peeling it off. There we go. Let's take out the little pieces. I don't think I mentioned in the video where I got these coffee cups. We have two different kinds of dollar stores or 99-cent stores here where I live. We have the Dollar Tree, and then we have the 99-cent store. And I actually went to both. I got these at the 99-cent store for 99 cents. And the coffee mugs that I'm going to be working on, I got at the Dollar Tree for $1. And I was very excited about that. And I'm on the fence about how much I want to charge for these because I do want to be able to, you know, recoup the money that I put into it, but then also give the Cancer Society, you know, a good donation. Crossing my fingers that they all sell. I don't know if any of you do any boutiquing where you make crafts and you go, you know, try to sell your crafts or whatever, and you're like, oh, that's a disappointment because nobody bought anything. I was like that with cards for many, many years. For some reason, people just didn't buy my cards. I didn't think they were ugly, but just not their taste. So I gave up on the cards. I'm doing coffee mugs now and soup mugs. Okay, I'm pushing pretty hard on this one because this one gets a little even more intricate, this area right here. All right, let's see how we did. Yeah, that one's coming off nicely so far. Just take your time, no rush. Make sure you have it on the right setting. As I mentioned earlier, the glitter vinyl was not on the right setting and it cut through the paper. Bring this down here and start from one end. You want to make sure that you're all lined up. As you notice, if you can see, it's gonna be hard for you to see this for a second. It's gonna be covering up some of the silver, which is okay because that's part of the design of it, to where the dinner bell is really going to pop with it being in the glitter. So I'm going to use my thumb first, and then I'm going to use my scraper. Now you're doing vinyl on top of glitter, so this gets tricky. You're really going to need to help it out a little bit. And I'm going to tear it from this end again. Okay, I'm making sure you guys can see this. Slowly peeling it back. You want to make sure that this transfer tape doesn't start taking off the second layer here if you're thinking about doing this image or any image that you've got double layers. Okay, so I had to help that one a little bit, and I had to help that one a little bit, which is okay. So I've got my thumb here and I'm just going through. I just tore the S, but I can fix that. Rushing through it, not paying attention. So let's go down, back down to here. We're just going to push down on that, and then I bring it right here and help that out a little bit. I'm trying to do this and make it so that you guys can see what I'm doing at the same time. Usually I have it tilted up towards me, so this one piece, there we go. Okay, good. Nice and slow. I'm just eyeballing it to see if there's any creases or bubbles, or if it tears up, or lifts up, I should say, in this particular case. Typically it would do this lifting up thing if you're doing layers. So it's not anything to do with the transfer tape or the malfunctioning of it or whatever. It's just the characteristic of what happens when you're putting layers on top of each other. Your thumb really is your partner here for this. Alright, so there it is. Soup's on. And I'm just going to go through. I don't need to do this right here because, you know, guys have already seen. I'm just going to go through and use my thumb and just kind of push out the creases. All right, that's it. If you have any questions on the process, what I did, you know, just leave a message in the comment section and I'll get back to you. Have a great day.